Sego. Hello, everyone. Tanse for our Cree sisters who are joining us today. Hi, Roberta, Judy, Sherry, and all of our relatives that will be joining us this afternoon on Mush Whole Voices. It's really great to finally get Judy on here with us. She visited with us in February, I think, of this year, and she told some of her story, and it was a really, really great visit. And we had a lot of people comment about how inspiring your story was, and what an amazing ball of energy that you are. And this is why we've created the space for Mush Whole Voices, for the survivors who have sacrificed and really have shown us the way, and how to be resilient, and how to just return to love. And so thank you for everyone for joining us today. Before we get started, I'd like to just acknowledge all of our relatives that are joining us, acknowledge this beautiful day and all of the beautiful energies that are provided for us from Mother Earth, and just the opportunity to be able to join, to be together in this space. And I think it'll be fun to get caught up. We're gathering on September 30th at our place in Milton, our Urban Indigenous Center. And we confirmed yesterday with Roberta that we will have several survivors from the Mush Whole Voices. They'll be joining us at the center. So we're excited to host you and share some entertainment and some feast, and just get to know you, and thank you for everything that you've done for us, and sharing your stories over the last few months, and just really helping to bring lighter energy as we move forward together, and learning more about the residential schools and the impact it's had on the people and the nation. And so for those of you who are listening and would like to know how you can support the Mush Whole Voices, our residential school survivors are still working towards the park, the Mohawk Village Park, Memorial Park, on the grounds of the Woodland Cultural Center. So if there's anyone that you know of in the next couple of weeks they're looking to do something to, just get involved in community and make an impact, go to this website here, or reach out to Roberta or Grandmother's Voice, and we can help direct you. So again, Nyoa for joining us, and Roberta, we got Judy Cooper.
I know. I am. It's a good day.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
And we have Sherry Sable. I don't know if you guys all want to say hello before we have the opportunity to hear Judy Cooper today tell her story and talk more about her journey and where she's at right now. And I love the quote, how she says that she's just living life, a good life with her family. And I think that's just a wonderful message to hear. So thanks for joining us, Judy Cooper.
Nice to be here finally. Yeah. I'd love to share my story. Been a long journey. But I try to live the best every day. So, where do I begin? Introduce myself?
Wherever you like to start.
Okay, my name is Judy Cooper. This is my second name. I went to Mush, Brantford, Ontario. I was registered as Marguerite Cooper. It's kind of strange, but it's not a name I really ever heard of, but I was always known as Judy. So I was registered in Mush as Marguerite Cooper. But I changed my name to Judy. I used my middle name Judy because of the sexual abuse I experienced in Mush Hole. For some reason, I throughout the last few years, I've been writing my name all over the brick walls of Mush Hole in the back. I wrote my name there because I was thinking, I'm going to leave this name behind. I'm going to forget it. I'm going to forget everything that happened to me. This way I won't use that name. So I used to write my name in the back of the bricks in Mush hole every time I was sexually abused. Sometimes I go back to the same brick, rewrite my name over again. That's what I did. Those, I didn't really think of um, or understand what was happening to me. But it was that long name, and I kind of hated it after. But I knew I wanted to leave that name behind. And thinking, okay, when I get out of here, I'm going to forget everything. Totally. I'm going to forget what happened to me. That way I'm going to leave my name behind. And I don't know, I every time the final years I was there, I knew I was going to leave my show. I knew I was going to get out. That was my intention. But I never thought, I would ever hear that name until about 10 years ago. That's when it triggered everything. I was a junior and this lady called me and I ignored her, but I didn't think she was calling me. So I figured I better turn around and see who it is. So I found out who she was. She was a senior when I went to school there. I was a junior. And she called me by that name and just triggered everything. I was just shaking. It's like everything just came back. But it did a lot to me. But I already quit drinking and everything. But during the rehab, I never talked about residential school. I was just talking about my problems then, about my drinking, heavily drinking anyways. But it was a name I wanted to leave behind. I never thought for once, not even my former schoolmates called me Marguerite. They always called me Judy. And they never questioned me why I changed my name. To this day, they're still my childhood friends. But I've been on my healing journey now for the last, I quit drinking about 30 years ago. So, but I always put the residential school aside because, like I said, I was hoping to forget that name, Marguerite, until 10 years ago. Somebody called me Marguerite. That's when it triggered everything. I had to deal with it. And I remember my sign to help me. I wrote it on the brick because I didn't know. I didn't know what was happening. I didn't know. I didn't understand. I I used to hide sometimes under the steps in Mush hole. There's a beautiful sweater, very colorful. That was my pillow under the steps. Solid concrete, cold. I used to lay there sometimes after everything happened to me, or the night before, I should say. And I used to hear kids running in and out because the door was banging, and when I knew when to come in or come out because the whistle would blow, and after I wouldn't hear the door banging, I would crawl out of my hole. My friends used to ask me, "Where are you?" Oh, I was inside, or on top of the lockers. I told them, just writing stuff like that. I lied. I kind of lied because I didn't want them to know I was on my cubbyhole. I guess my safety zone, I'd say. with my colorful sweater as my pillow, but there was solid black concrete I used to lay on to forget about everything. But it was very hard. But I didn't understand. I wanted to tell somebody, but I was scared. I didn't want to share what was happening to me. That's my story. That's why I wanted to leave that name behind, Marguerite Cooper. When I went for a visit a few years ago, I think about 4 years ago, 5 years ago, I could still see my name on those bricks. And I told my friend, Charlene, her name, why I wrote my name. And my name's all over the back there. Sometimes I go back. I used to go back and rewrite my name again. Those were my intentions, to leave my name behind. And forget whatever happened to me there. That was my idea. So I changed my name to Judy. When they told me I passed and everything, you're going to high school. So I said, I don't want to use that name. I want to leave it behind. But they never asked me why. So they told me, okay, we'll put Judy. It's shorter. That was my excuse. It's shorter, I said. Marguerite is such a long name. So they told me, okay, that's why I'm Judy today. But I don't mind being called Marguerite or whatever. Yeah. It doesn't bother me anymore. And it's a nice name, but I don't want to use it. It's too long, I guess. I'm so used to Judy. I don't think I ever heard my parents ever call me Marguerite when I was living out in the bush and everything. No, it was always Judy. But on my birth certificate, that's what it says. And that's what I guess they used when I registered in Mush. Marguerite Judy Cooper. Yeah. So today, I'm on my healing journey. I still am. It's a nonstop journey. It's a nonstop path. And I have two spirit names, a center sky woman and beautiful eagle feather. When I got my spirit names, we had to have giveaways. So at a goose dance out here in the UC, I bought it was like Christmas shopping. It's the only store we had up north, Rossi. Great. That's where I bought everything. It was like Christmas shopping. So I had to get my blanket and everything, display everything at the goose dance. And that was my giveaway for my spirit names. That was the ceremony. That's the ceremony we have when we are given spirit names. So my spirit names again is Center Sky Woman and Beautiful Eagle Feather. And today I'm good. I could be better, but I'm good. I just take it one day at a time, and I not expect too much. Only accept what is today and today only, because I cannot worry about tomorrow. And yesterday's gone, so that's me. I live each and every day to my fullest. That's it. That's all I have to say.
Well, I'm glad you could be here today, Judy. I just have a few questions that I wanted to ask you. Though, what years were you at the Mush?
Good. Let me see. 64, 65 till it closed.
Oh, until it closed?
1969. Yeah.
69, 70 school year. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. And who was the administrator? Was it still Skin?
Skin. What do you mean?
Zimmerman.
Oh, him. Oh, Cannon. Yeah.
Well, he was still there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what about the other one, the other minister? Boyce, was he still there?
This Reverend Boyce was still there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And did it? I think your time. I think the abuse was always there. I think the things that I'm hearing is that they were making a lot of changes, because I think even in the food preparation and the food they were serving, it was a lot different from what I'm hearing when I was there. So
Mhm.
things were gradually changing, but I think all of the abuses certainly weren't changing at all. They were still there. It's just that they seem to be making changes for the better, but maybe it's because they were getting looked at more too. You know?
Probably, yeah. But I wasn't too crazy about the food, but we had no choice.
Right. And I know Charlene told me they had bacon and eggs. I said, what?
Yeah, that was a
I never
royal.
ever, we never ever saw bacon and eggs.
No,
Never.
that was
No.
a royal treat, bacon and
Yeah,
eggs.
it would have been. It would have been.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, I hear a lot of stories from the men now when they were little boys on how they managed to get off the property and explore here and there. And I thought, my gosh, all I remember is that little playground outside for girls. But yet, some of the girls I think were wandering too. I know one lady told me she wandered through the cornfield over to the chapel to play, which would have been off limits. But
Uh-huh.
my time there was basically, we're confined to that little girls' playground, and I never, I mean, we did have outings here and there, but I would never have ever tried to venture off anywhere, because I think I was just so conditioned to follow the rules and not break them,
Okay.
Yeah. So
We ran away.
was that you and Charlene?
Yeah.
Yeah. My sister ran away too.
That
But
was the highlight of my event that one year. Yeah. Running through the cornfield. The amazing part about that was we didn't get any scratches or anything. Yeah.
That's a good thing. But you went through the cornfield, and where did you go? Because my sister ran down Burkett's Lane and out the other way onto the road that led down to Ashwegan. Where
Okay.
they went. That's where they went. And at the time that my sister left, her and Lillian Beaver ran away. I was the only one left out of 6 of my family members that were at the Mush hole. And so I was so upset that my sister would even leave me there. I was so upset that they would run away, and my sister Dawn wouldn't even think about me, leaving me alone, because that would have been just me out of all of them kids, eh? And so I followed them. Me and this other little kid followed him. I wasn't trying to run away. I was going to get her back.
Okay.
Yeah, I was going to get her back. Eventually, we couldn't find them, and we found this phone booth anyway. Ended up, we did get back to the Mush hole. I didn't get the strap, but those 2 eventually got caught.
Mhm. Yeah. An awesome feeling just to get out of there.
Freedom.
Yes. You could just taste it, freedom. But that was the thing I was telling you, the amazing part. We didn't even get scratches or anything when we ran through the cornfield. I don't ever remember, like, our beloved Yvonne was with me, and Shirley. We didn't get scratches, even though we ran through the field. Isn't that incredible? With all the leaves sticking out and everything,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what amazed me. I don't remember where I was going though. I just followed the girls.
Keep going.
Yeah, just keep running and running, and oh my God, the freedom! I just tasted it, and it felt awesome.
Yeah, and you think how many other kids ran away too. How many other kids had to come back, and
Yeah.
they just had the walk last week for Joey Commanda, the one that didn't make it back. But yeah,
Oh.
so it was just very difficult times for children, like for Indigenous children.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And I really don't think that if parents actually knew what was going on in the schools, I really don't think anyone would have left their children there. It's just that I think we were just so brainwashed or conditioned, not so much brainwashed as
Yeah, they used to
we
make it.
were made to stay silent, and that was it.
Yeah. And they made us write letters to our parents, but it
Oh,
was on
yeah?
the bulletin board.
Really?
Yeah. And they told us what to write when we, like, I'm doing fine, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, so you never could write home and say, "Here's what's happening to me. I need help.
No,
Help me."
no,
You couldn't
no,
tell them, "Help me."
no, you
No.
couldn't.
I know
So,
they screened incoming mail too.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, they did. That was the thing. Yeah, they screened everything. But I remember those letters. Yeah. And I remember one time somebody got some bannock on the mail. That was amazing. And everybody just scrambled for pieces from one of my friends there. Just a little piece to taste it.
Little taste of home too.
Yeah, yeah, that was it. And but the first time I went there I took my mother there 5 years ago. I brought my mother to Brantford. My mother's still around. She's 87. She just looked at it and she said in Cree, it looks like a place of where skeletons live, stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's what she told me. It was a haunting,
Mm-hmm.
looks like a haunted place, she told me. Yeah,
And it is.
yeah,
It is.
it is.
Yeah.
Because when I was walking around, around the school, I could feel, I don't know, I could feel people. I could feel somebody's lost.
Mm-hmm.
I felt that when I was there. Yeah,
I think different people do. They feel the same thing.
yeah. You feel the presence of, someone, I should say. I shouldn't say something, but someone who's so lost. Yeah, having a hard time to go home.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
I
For
felt
sure.
that, and my mother felt that.
Mhm.
Yeah, she
And
told.
and why did they take you? Like, if you, what was the reason for taking you, other than they could, according to the government, at 6 or whatever, they could put you in a school. So
The
it
government.
seemed
The
like when we were there, we didn't when I was there, say in the 1957, there wasn't that many kids from the north, but then they start getting more and more kids from the north.
uh-huh.
So what were they looking at? What were they looking for up there? Is just to disrupt everything, just to pull you out of your natural, like your living.
Yeah, pull us out of our natural homes, out in the land. Well, most of us were out in the land, and there was an Indian agent that came around
Mhm.
collecting names for some reason, but like we didn't understand that though. We were just kids. According to my dad, the Indian agent came around asking me how many kids I have and all that. And we didn't think nothing of it, he said. We just went all over like we were scattered. And the Indian agent would go to all these homes and find out how many kids they had, what age they are, when they were born, and whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then the following year, I don't know, some bus came collecting. Mind you, my parents didn't want to let me go. But for some, they dressed me in the best, the best. Oh, I got my picture here. I'll show it to you. I don't know if you can see it. You see it?
Yeah.
Yeah. They used to buy us the best clothes, dress up, and tell us, you're going for a bus ride. You'll be back. But later on, throughout the years, my dad used to work in a sawmill, the lumber yard, and everything. They told him, if you don't let your daughters go, well, you don't get paid. You won't get a paycheck. That's what they told my dad. And that's what happened.
Yeah, and that's very much intimidation and threatening, and because you're not the only one the only family that it worked on. You know, that's what they would do. If you
Yeah.
had little ones still at home, if you don't send your child this year, we're going to withhold that family allowance. And so
Yeah.
you let your baby starve, or you
Yeah.
have to send. And that's just wrong. That's just wrong what they did. It's criminal to me, but that's my opinion.
Yeah. So every September or August, my parents bought us new clothes to go down Brantford. Long bus ride. Yeah. But I didn't understand that though. Why do I have to travel so far? I slept in the bus. I don't think they even had washrooms in the bus. I don't remember if I ever went to the washroom.
Probably not.
No, I don't think so. And I don't remember going to the washroom anyways throughout the bus ride. You could hear crying, people crying. I didn't want to cry because I had my my nice clothes on, which my parents bought me. I was very happy with my new clothes. Yeah. I didn't want to cry. I figured I dirty them, if I cry. Stuff like that. My mom even gave us purses. I call them my MK purses. Yeah. She used to put candy in there, gum. Yeah. So it's a good time when I think about it. But when we got there, Mush Hole, it was totally different. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Yeah. And where we got on was where we stopped. Where we got on was a place called Miquelon, and there was a bar across the bridge. My late mom, my mom told me everybody used to go there after the bus left the bar. Sad. Took them a long time to get over it, to make them realize we were gone. Yeah. The house was empty. You didn't hear any kids out in the bush screaming, yelling, whatever. You didn't hear a splash, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They
Yeah,
suffered just as much as we did.
for sure.
My
Mm-hmm.
parents, yeah.
And I think that there was never any thought given to that, though, that, what they were doing to families, what they were doing to communities.
Yeah.
On top of all that, what were you doing to the children? Like when you're separating children from their parents, it's just so devastating,
Yeah,
from
it is.
parents and from children. It really is. And nobody understands that unless you're that child and that parent having to let your child go when you really don't want to let them go.
No.
It's just,
No, you couldn't. They didn't want us let us go, but they had threats like that.
mhm.
They had no choice. My mom.
Judy, Judy, the September is normally the first month that we go back to school, and knowing that an awful lot of our parents were taken around September too to go to school, and so is there things that come up for you every September or around the time that you would have gone to school, or you know those
Well,
kinds of things?
oh, today no. It only comes out when I talk about it or when people ask me about it.
Yeah.
Today, no. Doesn't. I just feel bad that our parents were ignored with all this reconciliation uh, day. They didn't think of our parents. They only thought about us kids. You know, our parents suffered a lot too, but nobody ever mentions them. I do. I talk about my parents, how they felt when they took us away, and how they went to the bar, and you know? Yeah. And how they spend the last or whatever their money just to make us look good when they're sending us off. Dressed us in our Sunday best, like, Yeah. I think about that a lot when people ask me about residential school. I think about my parents mostly. Yeah. And then the abuse and everything, yeah, but it's mostly about my parents I think about. Yeah, how they felt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's exactly like that did get missed, not so much missed by us. We knew what happened,
Yeah.
but nobody else, like government or whatever church, they didn't want to recognize or they wouldn't acknowledge that this is what you're doing. This is the damage you're causing here.
Yeah. And I hate when they tell us get over it.
Me too.
Yeah. I hate to say this, but I was watching 911 yesterday. That's exactly what I thought in my head. Get over it. You know?
Yeah, I don't think you ever get over it because it's part of your life's experience. So how do you get over what you've experienced?
No,
How
you
do you
don't.
get over that? It's in your memories.
It's in my memory, yeah. And I like sharing it. It feels good to share it. Like to my childhood friends, we talk about it. But we're always smiling, laughing about it. But when we were there, it was totally different. Yeah.
But you're an adult and you can handle those things now, or it was so different
Yeah.
when you were a child going through that. But yeah, you don't get over it. What you do is you remember what happened, and
Yeah.
like yourself, you've been able to, you go through a difficult journey, but look where you are today.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
happy where I am. Yeah. I'm
And what
very,
is it? What is it that you do now, Judy?
I work for I'm an executive assistant to our deputy grand chief of the Cree Nation. We have a chairman. I mean, a president. Oh, not a president. What do you call it? Grand chief, I should say. She's a woman, our grand. And I work with her right hand man, deputy grand chief. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. It's my fourth one. When they campaign, I campaign too. They
Mhm.
pick the people, eh? That's what they do. Who they want to work with. So when they're campaigning, I'm campaigning too. I listen to their platforms and everything. Everybody's shaking their hands after they listen to their questions and platforms and whatever. So when they're shaking hands, I tell them, pick me. I can do the job. I'm the best. That's what I would do. Yeah. Yeah.
Now you live in a northern community, like northern Quebec.
Nem-
Um, and what is the community called that you
Nem-
live in right now?
Nemiska. That's where the head office is. Yeah. It's a population of about 1,000 people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm originally from Waswanipi. That's further down south. It's one of the southern communities. Population there is probably about 1,400.
Mm-hmm.
Way bigger than this place, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nice little community. Everybody knows, of course, everybody knows everybody. And I like it here because we have an access road, but we have the Billy Diamond Highway.
Yes.
So to reach the Billy Diamond Highway, it's about 115 kilometers. And the nearest town is about 4 hours away. And of course, the place we call Sin City is about 7 hours away. And I've been living here for 16 years.
Mm.
And I have 4 more years.
4 more years.
Yeah.
But the land is also
That
your medicine.
the land is the best place to be when you're on your healing journey.
Mm-hmm.
I found that out about 20 years ago. Yeah. Go back to the land if you want to heal
Mm-hmm.
with no distractions, phones or whatever.
Mhm.
So you're doing everything on your own when you're out in the land. Whereas if I'm here, distracted by the phone, technology, and everything. But when I'm out in the land, I'm calm. Scared in the beginning because I don't know who's around. But after a while, I just get used to it because I come here for a purpose. I come here to rebuild my language. When we're out in the land, we talk Cree mostly. It's like a dictionary, our land. Yeah. Everybody talks Cree, and it's the best place if you want to heal out in the land.
I know that there's some young men that came from your community that walked 1,800 kilometers
It's they live further up north.
further up north.
Yeah. They walked from Wapmux to Ottawa. Yeah. Young guys. There were 7 of them. And quite the journey for them. Yeah. I remember that journey. Yeah. I met them in Ottawa after. Because in Ottawa, everybody was there. Yeah. And yeah, that was quite the journey. Now we can't walk anymore because we have to have permits to walk on the highways now. That's crazy. Yeah. Can't do that anymore, they told us.
Yeah.
I
But a northern community full of resilience.
Yeah.
Like those, with and surviving on the land that they've done for thousands of years.
Yeah. It's been the best. It's the best. And I really like these land-based workshops, sessions they have. I find they're more effective than the ones we have down south. Yeah. Because you're not distracted by anything. Yeah. Except you have your surroundings and everything. You enjoy your surroundings. You listen to everything. Yeah.
Is that part of education for the children too up there?
We have a cultural program for the kids, teaching them how to, skin fish and stuff like that. Cultural activities for the kids, they teach them. Yeah. Especially the language. Teach them how to speak, how to use, what to call whatever, That's what they do. It's very important for us to teach our kids. Yeah.
That's right, because it'll be lost if you don't.
No, yeah, true. That's our main goal, I do believe. Keep our culture, our traditional activities. We still go hunting, fishing, trapping. Right now it's fishing time. Lots of fish. Yeah. And the end of September, first week of October is usually moose hunting season. Yeah. A lot of people go in the bush.
You hunt?
Yeah. I'm going. Mind you, our camp is on the highway. My late dad built it on the highway because of his continuous follow-ups. Yeah. I wanted to live near Waswanipi. It only takes about half an hour by road to Waswanipi. So he built his cabin on the highway so he could go for his follow-ups. Yeah. It'll be 10 years. My dad's gone. Call him my 911 dad. That's when. Yeah. I was very close to my dad. Yeah. Sometimes I stop at his grave, tell him stories about his grandkids, what's happening, how is mom doing, Yeah.
That connection.
Yeah.
There's a question here that one of our audience members would like to ask. And she's asking, for members off reserve, what does your band do for teachings? So if there's members from your community that's off reserve that lives further down, what are some of the things that are offered to off reserve members?
We have our own school board. There's a post-secondary program. They are sponsored by a Cree school board to go to school down south. Mainly, they go to school in Ottawa, Montreal, Sudbury, North Bay, those areas. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
this is a program.
Nice.
Yeah, and they get their southern allowance. Monthly allowance. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I used to live up north, and we'd get a northern allowance
Oh
for
yeah,
just for living in the north.
yeah, yeah. That comes with a salary. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. And I know that a lot of school boards down south are really looking at more of the land-based learning just for that cultural resurgence, because we've lost so much of it during residential school and colonization. And I know that a lot of the southern school boards are looking to First Nations communities to just to start what they can do as far as land-based learning, and especially for Indigenous kids,
uh-huh.
Cree kids, Haudenosaunee kids, and Anishinaabe kids. The land is really our teacher,
Yeah,
right? Like, and
yeah.
you said that earlier. The land is really your teacher, and it's your healer.
Hmm.
And I think people are finally cluing in that it's so important, especially during our shutdown.
Yeah.
Um, and would you like, I know that there's schools in Canada that shut down and go off to like a camp and a survival camp or whatever with their students. Is that something that happens up north as well?
No. Like I told you, we have our own Cree school board.
Hmm.
Kids are provided laptops to go to school. I mean, for their teaching at home. They're all provided laptops, so they don't miss school.
Hmm.
Yeah. They didn't take anybody out, like the school in the communities. The young kids, they're provided laptops. Most of the homes do have, computers and everything, laptops. Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm.
Doesn't disturb or, you know,
Hmm.
make them not go to school. Yeah. That's what Cree School Board.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And more of that needs to happen as
Yeah.
well, being in control of our own education
Yeah.
and our own futures.
Yeah. So I'm happy the way we live.
Hmm.
I'm happy. It's very hard on us when somebody has COVID. Right away, we shut down, close. We all have our security gates, you know. We have 9 communities, and everybody has their security gates and everything. Most of them do have, like I told you, the school and everything. Nothing is closed. Teachers are there, but some of them want to quit. They want to go home, but they can't because if they come back, they have to isolate her.
Mm.
We're very diligent about this sickness, COVID. Yeah,
Yeah, kind of have to be when you're up north and protecting your members.
yeah, it is.
Hmm.
We do our best, though. Yeah,
Hmm.
but I'm glad the kids stay in school with their laptops, and after
Hmm.
the school, when the school opens, they have to return their laptops. Yeah,
Yeah, it would have been wonderful to have a school like that you know, back when our parents were going to residential school, right?
yeah,
Like, not to have what it has turned out to be.
yeah.
Uh, I know that a lot of parents wouldn't have sent their kids. All parents would never have sent their kids knowing all the things that was happening there.
All those
Um,
little things. Yeah, it
hmm.
was hard to talk about,
Hmm.
even if you went home.
Hmm.
Think anybody would believe you? No.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Never talked about it when I got home. Yeah.
Hmm.
I think
Maybe.
I think during those years, though, the children would not have been listened to anyway.
Yeah.
They just wouldn't have been, because you're under the authority of the government, you know, overseeing things, but you also have the church. And like I said before, church officials had all the respect, you know, they were believed. So they would have been able to silence kids anyway. So it wouldn't have worked. We would just we stayed silent for a reason, you know.
But I think most of us, once we got home, that was it. You forget about Mush Hole.
Mm-hmm.
Just enjoy the freedom for the summer
Mm-hmm.
with your parents.
Mm-hmm.
And we just totally forget about what happened
Mm-hmm.
Still
out
have
there.
to live life.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was my way of, you know, dealing with it.
Mm-hmm.
Totally forget everything.
Mm-hmm.
Just enjoy my parents, whatever, you know. Yeah.
And I think that helps that you did go home. You went home, you know. A lot
Yeah.
of people didn't go home and it didn't work, but
2 months.
yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, it helps if you're back in your community. It takes a big adjustment. There's a lot of things that have changed.
Yeah.
I'm glad you are where you are.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't when I went home, I just totally forgot about Mush Hole. Period. That was it. Case closed, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm here with my parents.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Heading back. It's oh no, here we go again.
Yes, we know it's really, we know that when we're asking people to come on here, that they are very vulnerable. That we're asking them to relive certain memories and to do to tell Canadians, because Canadians need to still hear these stories. And and I really want to just honor you, Judy, that it's not easy to be here, and it's not easy to tell your story. But
I don't.
just know that Roberta and I are here. We also are. We really wrap around a lot of things with even our community when people are having a difficult time, and then we'll go and we'll have somebody come and talk, or our elders will show up on here as well. So I just want to just honor you, to thank you so much, because sometimes it's not easy to bring up those old memories.
Yeah. I find it not as hard as before in the beginning. Yeah. Now I can talk about it. And I like sharing my story. Yeah. And sometimes my childhood friend would say, I always wondered why you never used Marguerite. Then I tell them my story, and I tell them after.
Mm-hmm.
You're surprised though. Really? This
Mm-hmm.
happened?
Mm-hmm.
Then they tell me so and so, you know, it happened the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
But
Many, many times.
yeah, you changed your name.
Mm-hmm.
Now I understand why you changed your name, they told me. Yeah.
It's like with me, I've been around the back of that mush bowl many times, and I often wondered, who wrote that? Help me.
Ah,
What was the story? You don't know. And here
yeah.
you are. Here you are. Now I understand. You needed help for sure.
Yeah.
You
Because
did.
I mentioned it to Shirley when she was talking to me, oh, I don't know, about 5, 6 years ago. Yeah. She was telling me how they're going to renovate the place and everything, you know. So I told her, if you look in the back in the pool there, remember our pool? I thought it was big that time.
It's not.
Huge pool. And yeah, I look at it, whoa. And I asked her, did you ever find a brick where it says, help me? I surprised her. Yeah. That was me, I told her. Help me. I don't know. When I was a kid, I didn't understand anything.
Mm-hmm.
I figured I'd write it. That's why I wrote my name too over and over again. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And where was the little cubby hole that you were hiding under? Was that under the stairs that went up to the
There
first?
used to be a little door under the stairs.
Well, yeah. Was that right up with the first set of stairs going up?
That yeah, first set of stairs. There used to be a little door there. Half a door, I should say. There's a cubby hole. That's where I used to lay. It used to be
I
solid,
never knew it existed.
yeah, solid concrete. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I had my favorite sweater there. And that's what I asked Shirley. Did you guys find sweaters? They took out all the stuff, she told me. Yeah. Yeah. I had a sweater there, I told her. It was very colorful. I know it was navy blue, but it was very colorful. It had red, orange, yellow, almost like the medicine wheel colors. And that used to be my pillow. That's where I used to lay under those stairs.
That was your only safe space there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just couldn't understand. And that's why one day I just said, help me. I went in the back. There's two areas. I can't seem to find the other one, though. I wrote, help me. But they found it when I asked Shirlene about it. Did you ever find it? She said, yeah, we found it. And we wanted to know who wrote that, huh? That was me, I told her.
I have a question for you here. Were you there when they were digging a tunnel from the boiler room over to the school?
No.
No. Okay.
I never knew what was happening inside the school. If they were digging or repairing anything.
It probably was before your time then. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. The nice thing about this was I still have my childhood friends.
Mm.
They hold a special place in my heart. Yeah. I still have them. Most of them don't drink anymore or anything. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's once in a while we'll talk about my show, but we don't laugh and joke about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, the National Day for Truth and Reconciliation is coming up. It
Yeah.
was called Orange Shirt Day, right? And we'll
Yeah.
probably always call it Orange Shirt Day. But is there anything happening in your community? How are
Oh,
you going to? Are you doing anything in order to?
I haven't seen a note. Usually they have something on Facebook, but it is a holiday, and I know I've already ordered the shirts. Meanwhile, I'm trying to fix my skirt, my ribbon skirt. It's been sitting there for the last month. I haven't really decided how to design it. Yeah,
Oh,
that's what I do. I make ribbon skirts, ribbon shirts, regalias, whatever. Yeah, beadwork. Yeah, that's what I do.
well, that's amazing to know, Judy. Because we'll be chatting after.
Yeah, I heard it's. I never liked sewing. It came from a dream.
Mm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
never liked sewing, and I hated sewing. Mind you, I didn't mind a button or two, but I I didn't like it. Just picked it up one day. And it's been about 5 years now. I've been sewing. Yeah.
That's wonderful. I have a sister, an older sister, who is probably about 65 now or 68, and her friends went to school together, Cree in Treaty 6 and Treaty 4 territory.
Uh,
And it was and we had a show similar to this called The Importance of Aunties, and we really enjoyed those conversations with aunties. And we were talking about the other day about our aunties and how important other women are in our lives as well, to help us get through some of the challenges that we have, and also not the challenges, but even the healing that we all have to do, because we know that our parents missed us, and we know that our parents loved us. And how do you know that in your own little in your own little heart, that your parents loved you and missed you? And so we had those conversations, and the one auntie actually made me a ribbon skirt. So I was really honored. So it's beautiful, and having the importance of aunties and, like you said, your childhood friends that you can still go back and have a chat with, and and have those conversations, because it's lived experiences too that gets us through some of these
Yeah.
times.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It lifts you up. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, it certainly does. It certainly
Mm-hmm.
does. Well, there's lots of comments here, just thanking you for your wisdom and sharing your personal story, and a comment that, reconciliation should have happened a long time ago. And we are going into an election. And that's one of the things that we can certainly ask our elected officials of what their role in reconciliation or truth. Let's start with truth first.
Mm-hmm.
And what their promises are. Not There's always promises, but there's never anything that really goes into fruition. You mentioned Billy Diamond, and I remember I remember that being a huge case back in the 70s and 80s,
Yeah.
when the fight for self-government really
Yeah.
happened back then, and Billy Diamond was key into getting an awful lot of the self-government happening up in the north.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I just learned it in university and studied it and stuff like that, but I've never been up there. And I always saw that Billy Diamond was one of the huge role models in
Yeah.
Canada for us.
Yeah. He was the key. The key to open the door for us, create a path for us, continue on these journeys. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So we're doing that today. Yeah.
That's
We're
good.
so forever grateful to him. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So we have all these Cree, our own Cree Health Board, Cree School Board, our other Cree entities for self-governance. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you really are leaders in as far as self-government in the north as well as in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
I look up there all the time and see the difference too, where the self-government is happening and where it's not. It's still under federal jurisdiction. And, it makes a world of difference when we're in control of our own futures and we're in control of our daily lives. And,
Yeah.
that's so important. And knowing that we have this platform, that we are able to tell the truth, and we're in control of what we say on here, as well as who we bring on here. And so, from the bottom of my heart, I'm just so honored to be in the presence here of you, Judy, as well as you, Roberta. You're such a beautiful soul every week, coming on here and bringing more guests and learning, because this is a hard part of Canadian history. And thank goodness that we still have people that are still willing to tell their story and statements to the rest of Canada. So, it's wonderful that you're here. So thank you.
I thank you for inviting me. I didn't think it's ever going to come back on again. Well, technology.
Mm-hmm.
It was just not working the first time. I guess it just got blocked from, we have a special website. And you guys, if you want to look at it and everything, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I thank you for
Mm-hmm.
inviting me. I'm happy to share my story. Yeah.
Well, thank you. Roberta, do you have any last words?
No, but I really like to thank Judy for coming on, because what I didn't know when I was younger was like all the little kids and where they came from, what their journeys were. I'm only beginning to find out how they got to the mush hole. To me, they were just little faces that showed up, new faces. So now you've given a little glimpse there. You've got a little bit of that history from your community that said, here's what was happening. And just like Doug Semple, when he was on that train ride, that plane, that, that really sticks in my mind, how they got there. Because like I said, all we knew was little faces came in, new faces. And so you've opened that window where we can see just what was going on in the north. It wasn't just here. We knew how we got here, but how did you guys get there? What was your journey like? So you've helped me understand that more.
That's great. Yeah. Nice to hear.
And just so you know, Judy, here in where we are, like Roberta's on Six Nations, and I'm here in Milton, Ontario, and we've just partnered with a community, an organization here that has 80 acres that they've given us space, as well as 2,500 square feet of space that we can bring community together to learn, and to have that resurgence of culture and language, and to learn with other Indigenous women. So we have numerous events coming up, and on Sunday, I believe we're having one of our first women's drumming circles. And
Wow.
so that's absolutely amazing, with some other grandmothers here in Halton who really were advocating for Indigenous women before we could actually advocate. So they were doing it back in the 80s and 70s. And even so much so as even bringing forward the Bill C-31, and making that a news item. And so we've got some grandmothers coming on the 12th to also be honored here in Halton. And then of course we have a fairly large contingent of residential school survivors coming to the land on September 30th. So Jody had talked about that earlier, that, you know, it's just a day of just being on the land. It's a day just to be in the healing garden. And it's just a day of listening to some music and being with each other. And so that's how we're going to recognize September 30th in our community, and looking after our elders in a really good way.
Yeah, just reconnecting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's probably what we're gonna have. I know they did order the shirts, like I was told. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully I can finish my skirt by then. But Anjo, right after work, I do so. I sew.
Yeah.
I don't mind. Yeah. Yeah. But I'm grateful. I'm here to talk to you, ladies. Yeah, and thank you for asking questions. And I do feel comfortable when I talk about my story and share my story. Yeah.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. And I think we've, it's already 12 o'clock, and I know that you're probably wanting to go for lunch, and Roberta, you too as well. So again, thank you so much for being here. And we'll be in touch, Judy. We'll send you one of our T-shirts that we're giving out to our community as well. So I know Jody has your email address, and we'll just get in touch with you, and we'll send you one of our orange shirts, and hopefully you'll get it by September 30th. But if not, you'll have it for, you'll have a couple of that you'll be able to pick from.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, that's it.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, ladies.